I caught my girlfriend cheating. She gave excuses, then later said she is leaving for an upgrade when I didn't believe her BS. Now she's contacting me again, begging and saying she was manipulated and he used her. I still don't believe her BS. I, 28M, caught my girlfriend, 27F, cheating on me, and let me tell you, the way she handled it was wild. We've been together for almost 3 years, lived together for 2, and I honestly thought things were going great. Turns out, I was way off. I started noticing some weird behavior from her a few months back, more late nights out with her friends, being glued to her phone, and getting all defensive when I'd ask her who she was texting. I didn't want to jump to conclusions, though. I trusted her, and we've never had serious issues with jealousy or anything like that. Then, a couple of weeks ago, I came home early from work because my boss let me off for the day. I walk into the apartment, and right away, something felt off. She wasn't expecting me, and when I walked into the bedroom, there she was, fully clothed but sitting way too close to some guy I'd never seen before. They both looked guilty as hell, like deer caught in headlights. I didn't even have to ask what was going on. It was pretty obvious. The dude jumped up as soon as I walked in, mumbling something like, "I should go," and practically bolted out of the apartment before I could even say a word to him. I wasn't focused on him, anyway. He was just some random guy as far as I was concerned. The real issue was my girlfriend. She started denying everything immediately, like, "It's not what it looks like," and, "We were just talking." Yeah, right. Just talking. In my bedroom, sitting inches apart, looking like you've been caught doing something wrong. I didn't buy it for a second. When I kept pushing her on it, she changed her tone and said, it was nothing. Seriously, it didn't mean anything. I guess she thought if she downplayed it, I'd just let it slide. But I wasn't about to let her gaslight me like that. I told her I didn't believe a word she was saying. That's when she got all emotional and switched gears again. She started saying she'd been in a dark place for a while and felt like I was never there for her. Like, what? I've been here every day, supporting her, doing everything I can to make sure she's happy. I was blindsided by that excuse. I straight up told her that was bullshit and that if she was feeling that way, we should have talked about it. We could have worked through it together. But no, instead she decides to cheat. Then, she drops her act. She stops pretending to feel bad and just goes, "Whatever, I'm leaving." Honestly, I'm glad you found out. I met someone who's an upgrade. He's wealthier, better looking, and after being with him, I realized I settled with you. Like. Wow. I was speechless. She said it so casually, like it wasn't a big deal that she was tossing away 3 years of our relationship because she thought she found someone better. She even had the nerve to say she was happy that I caught her because now she didn't have to pretend anymore. She packed up a bag, said she'd come back for the rest of her stuff later, and just walked out. No apology, no regret. Nothing. I think what shocked me the most wasn't even the cheating itself. It was how cold and unapologetic she was about the whole thing. It's like she flipped a switch, and the person I thought I knew was gone. She didn't even try to fight for the relationship or explain herself in any real way. I'm not gonna lie, it messed with my head for a bit. How can someone you've been with for years suddenly turn around and act like you mean nothing? Like they're trading you in for a better model or something? But here's the thing, I'm actually doing alright now. After the initial shock wore off, I realized I'm better off without someone like that. If she thinks she's upgrading, good luck to her. I don't need that kind of negativity in my life. I deserve someone who's going to be loyal and actually values the relationship, not someone who's constantly looking for the next best thing. I'm moving on, focusing on myself, and honestly, it feels good. I dodged a bullet, and at least now I know who she really is. It sucks, but I'm grateful I found out before wasting any more time with her. Update. Hey, everyone. I'm not sure how many of you will remember me, but I posted here about a year and a half ago about catching my ex-girlfriend cheating on me. This subreddit was a huge help when I was going through that mess, so I wanted to come back and give an update on where things stand now. So, to recap, I caught my ex cheating, she didn't seem remorseful, and she basically said she was happy I found out because the guy she was seeing was wealthier and better looking, an upgrade, as she put it. She packed her stuff and left, and I was left to process how someone I loved for years could change so drastically. But over time, I moved on, and honestly, life's been pretty good. Fast forward about 6 months after we broke up. I had blocked her on everything, social media, her phone number, everything. I didn't want any contact with her at all. Out of nowhere, I get a message from an unknown number. It was her. She asked if we could meet up to talk. I didn't need to think twice. I told her no and to never contact me again. But she didn't give up. She started pouring out a whole sob story, asking me to at least hear her out. She said she made a huge mistake and got caught up in materialistic things when she was with the new guy. Apparently, she was at a low point in her life, and that guy found her at her weakest moment and used her. She claimed she now realizes how much I truly loved her and that she had thrown away something real for something shallow. She kept going on about how she missed what we had, how she felt like she'd been manipulated, and how she regretted everything. She said she was sorry for how she treated me, that she was swayed by material things, and she wished she could undo it all. Honestly, at that point, I wasn't even upset anymore, I just felt indifferent. I had no feelings for her anymore, and I had zero interest in revisiting that chapter of my life. I told her straight up, good luck with your future, but I've moved on. Please don't contact me again. Then I blocked her new number. That was that. Now recently, I ran into a friend who knows someone in my ex's circle. He asked if I knew what had happened to her after we broke up. I said I didn't really care to know, but he told me anyway, and wow. It turns out things went south for her in a big way. Apparently, that upgrade she left me for. He was married the whole time, and she had no idea at first. She thought she was his main girl, but she was just his side piece. She found out eventually and tried to pressure him to leave his wife. When that didn't work, she decided to blow up his marriage by telling his wife everything. That's when things got messy. Instead of leaving his wife, the guy went ballistic and kicked her out of the apartment they were living in. She had no place to go and ended up homeless for a while, crashing on friends' couches. One of those told all this to my friend. She finally scraped together enough to move to a small apartment in Ohio. So, she must have tried contacting me around the time she got kicked out, hoping I'd take her back or help her somehow. I'm just grateful I made the right call by cutting her off and not letting her back into my life. As for me, I'm in a much better place now. I've moved on, and I'm happier than I've ever been. Looking back, it's insane how much people can change, or maybe they were always that way, and I just didn't see it. Either way, I'm thankful that chapter is closed, and I'm focusing on my future, not my past. Thanks again to this community for helping me.